matron of honor. She's prepared some words for us this evening. We have Courtney Jones. Is this okay? Yeah. Okay. All right, so hello everybody. So hope everybody's having a great time celebrating the lovely couple. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Courtney Jones now, so very formerly Bussin, very recently. And Maria has chosen me to deliver her maid of honor speech this evening, and I haven't quite figured out why she's trusted me with this yet, but here we are. And bear with me, I've gone over this about once. It's been a little busy. So before I totally begin, there's one important factor that kind of changes the nature of my speech this evening. So many of you already know, especially my friends and the wedding party. 2 weeks ago, I married this absolute hunk down here, Mr. Jones. However, I'm not here to talk about myself, because that sucks. It's somebody else's wedding. Talk about my wedding. So there's one thing, though, that's changed. So over the last couple of weeks, Maria has made it very clear that I'm not really her maid of honor anymore. So in situations where your maid of honor has become married or is already married, they then become a matron, which is such a nice term. And Maria hasn't let me forget that I've obtained this new status upgrade. So to make my speech a little bit more appropriate, I brought a few things, and I've requested the help of the MCs to give me a hand. So cue the music first to start, and then they're going to help me out. I've chosen an appropriate song here. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so now that we're a little more appropriate in nature, let's get to it. So I first met Maria about 7 years ago when our beautiful friend and bridesmaid Olivia Allen, we don't know, brought me along to a little get-together called the Catalina Wine Mixer. Interestingly, Maria and I are actually in very few of the same photos from that night, and I will admit that my memory of that night's a little blurry. Fast forward about 4 months later, this same friend group decided to plan a trip to Cuba for March break, and throughout the trip, Maria and I bonded very quickly. I'm unsure exactly what it was that drew us together, but I think the bottomless Bahama Mamas and probably a poolside party to Shania Twain may have been a factor. After this trip to Cuba, our friendship was undeniable. As time went on and Maria and I grew closer, we started to notice the numerous things that we had in common. So we bonded over many things, one being our love for junk food and snacks. Maria and I can often be found lounging around in our comfy clothes with a cheddar bacon dip, a bag of sour cherry blasters, and probably 2 ice-cold cans of Pepsi, enjoying the very first sip. I've recently learned from her sisters that Maria's love for yummy treats has actually been a lifelong phenomenon, as she's even perfected the art of opening the freezer door as a kid just enough to get a frozen mice cream treat without alerting the authorities. So she's been quite skilled at this. After graduating from UNB Fredericton, myself, I'd commute back and forth from St. John on my days off to stay with my boyfriend at the time, Kent, as he was completing his last year of his engineering degree. Luckily for me, Matt was one of Kent's roommates, so Maria often found herself staying at the boys' place as well. It was here that Maria and I would find ourselves unintentionally becoming obsessed with Forged in Fire on the History Channel. It will kill, yes. And also perfecting our duet of Picture by Kid Rock and Sheryl Crow on karaoke night. As we've grown older, though, we've both developed the same love for a night in, wearing our jammies, and occasionally having one too many drinks around a propane fire table, for example. Me on the wine. All jokes aside, though, Maria is one of the best friends a girl can have. Maria has supported me through many situations and would give the shirt off her back, or maybe even a Dunkaroo dip, for example, to anyone in need. Maria does have a spicy competitive side that we all know and love. If you were ever on a team with Maria, you'll know she's going to be your biggest cheerleader and give her all she can do to help her team to win. So, for example, while competing at one of her many dance shows, Maria went so hard at this that she absolutely wrecked herself off the stage. Blood from her face went everywhere. And she continued to dance, though, and just kept going to make sure she didn't compromise the routine for her team. So she's a great teammate to have. This is the exact type of friend you want in your corner, and I'm so fortunate to have convinced her that I'm worthy of that friendship from her. Now, switching gears a little bit, talk about Mr. Byer. So I met Matt at the same time as Maria, really because they've been an item for as long as I've known them. For some here today, there may have been a brief period where you knew Matt before the days of Maria, but those days would be very few for many of us. Based on my excellent Facebook investigating or creeping skills, I've learned that for Matt, life before Maria was so different. I mean, who even were we at the ripe age of 13 anyway? I'll let you all check that out for yourselves on Matt's Facebook page. Fortunately for us, Maria agreed to go out with Matt, and the days of cringeworthy picnic edits and braces were history. From the beginning, Matt has always felt like a close brother. Someone I could turn to for a laugh when times are hard, or even just provide a listening ear. Over the years, I've learned that Matt and I actually have a lot more in common than I initially thought. Growing up, I was always referred to as the worrywart of my friend group. And after meeting Matt, I quickly learned that this was also the case for him. One particular experience that jumps out at me when considering the similarity between us was when a group of us from university were renting an Airbnb in PEI for the weekend a couple years ago. You guys know what's coming. Naturally, our friend group became very loud and rowdy, which you'll see later, to the point where the neighbors let us party it out the first night. But the second night, they got a little fed up. They called the cops. So when the police showed up at the Airbnb, some of us opted to quiet down and go inside so the police would, go back and let us do our thing. While many of the men experienced this sudden state of invincibility. They were like, oh, screw the Poe, right? Dever. And stayed outside to continue to party on. So among the few of us, though, that went inside was Matt. However, Matt processed the situation a little bit different than a lot of us girls. So curled up in the fetal position behind the curtain in the living room was Matt, demanding that everyone come inside or we're going to jail. This is when I knew Matt and I would be friends forever. When it comes down to it, I've never known a Matt without a Maria, or a Maria without Matt. The two of you have grown so much together in ways that many of us couples will never experience. Not only can changing, evolving, and growing up together be difficult, especially through grade school, but all the while, growing in love is an even bigger challenge in which Matt and Maria have both succeeded. So what do I mean by that, right? Well, I thought I could make something up that might convey exactly what I mean, but Google did a much better job, so I'm gonna tell you what Google said. So I quote from Google. Growing in love takes far more work than falling in love, but it's something that no one really ever talks about. Falling in love initially can feel like kind of throwing caution to the wind and like you're sort of losing control a bit. Every text or message feels like this huge declaration of love, and you might feel like you've met your person just months after knowing them. So circa 2013 for these guys, I think. Lost the page. So growing in love, however, is more of a conscious choice. It's like you've taken a boiling pot and kind of let it simmer. There's a loyalty associated with growing in love that falling in love doesn't necessarily require. Falling in love can take an instant, but growing in love takes time. Time for both people to grow together and then decide they still choose each other. And time for life and what they know about themselves to dictate whether they still belong together. Matt and Maria have been growing in love for many years now, which I truly believe sets them up for a lifetime of love, happiness, and authenticity. So with all that said, Matt and Maria, we pulled it off. We did it. We're all so extremely happy for you as you both embark on this new life together. I'm so grateful to have been a part of this incredible day, and I know that the love between the two of you will only continue to grow throughout the rest of your lives. We love you, and we hope you had the absolute best day ever. Cheers. Thank you.
That was quite the performance.
Thank you, Courtney. Those were lovely words. I'd like for your help to welcome Nathan Burt, our best man.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Grandma Jones. I'm not going to be doing any wardrobe changes or anything. So, hello, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Nathan Burt, the best man of the groom here this evening. I'd like to start by saying there is absolutely nowhere else in this world I'd rather be this weekend than here with you all. Even if Morgan Wallen, Keith Urban, and Thomas Rhett are just 70K up the road. So my story with the bride and groom begins in September of 2013 in Fredericton, where many of us here this evening first met. Everyone was just moving into their dorms at UNB and getting ready for their new life after high school. So me, being the excellent student that I was, decided to show up for a 3-day math camp before school even started, which allowed me to move into Aiken House earlier than most of the students, and so did Matt. Not sure if everyone is aware of this, but the first couple days of Frosh Week is kind of a big deal. This is where you'll quickly make a name for yourself, Miley, and you will most likely end up hanging out with the first few people that you meet. Now, we're all told by our parents not to judge a book by its cover, but on this day in 2013, I believe both myself and Matt were guilty of this. I remember on our walk down to financial services to write the first of many checks from our parents' bank accounts, I remember thinking, this redheaded guy with these thick-rimmed glasses seems kind of nerdy. And not long after that, I was told that Matt's first thoughts of me was, this gaunt, shaved head guy with a goatee seems pretty sketchy. Nonetheless, we put our visuals aside and struck up conversation, and before we knew it, we discovered that we had a lot in common, and we had our, did we just become best friends moment? Matt and I, along with Ben, Kent, and a few of the others, were enrolled in every single one of the same classes in our first year. We spent so much time together and started to build a friendship that I knew was going to last a lifetime. As our first couple of years went on, through all the real tough studies, chill times listening to the sad songs playlist, and the countless parties, Matt was always mentioning the name of this girlfriend that he claimed to have back in Sussex. We'd tease him all the time, saying that she didn't exist, because I tell you, this girl was nowhere to be seen for well over a year. It was until well into our second year, I think it was November of our second year at UNB, that the beautiful Maria graced us with her presence. And boy, was that ever a first meeting. The first time meeting Maria, she arrived at one of our classic Aiken House parties, and this is back when you were actually allowed to have fun on campus. To keep the story light, let's just say it was absolute chaos, and I thought for sure that was going to be the first and last time meeting Maria. Turns out she likes to have just as much fun as the rest of us, and we're so happy we didn't scare her off, and she didn't leave Matt right then and there. The years went on, and more of the same shenanigans continued. After living in Aiken House, Matt and I lived together at Loyalist Court with the boys. which was the best university house to probably ever exist at UNB. We had bunk couches. Our friend group, even at the time, was so lucky to have spent so many good times together, whether it was just in Fredericton, at the local bars and house parties, visiting each other's hometowns, or the numerous trips to Cuba we went on during reading weeks. And also a special shout out to Jean and Arnold for welcoming this wild crowd to your cottage on Grand Lake on so many occasions. There's been a lot of good memories made out there. Matt and I spent countless hours together as we continued through the same university program, and we even got to be in the same group for our final design project. Thank God for the other two group members. This was, maybe three, anyways. This was all great until one of us decided to graduate on time and leave the other one alone in school for a couple victory laps. All jokes aside, I'm forever grateful, Matt, for all the help and support that you gave me during those tough university years. It means the world to me. For a few years after graduation, I don't think Matt really understood the whole idea of living in the same city that you work in. First, he lived in Fredericton, but traveled to St. John every day. Then he lived in St. John and traveled to Fredericton every day. So, when he made the decision to come and work with me at Greymont in Moncton, I thought this was great. You know, finally he and Maria will move to Moncton. He'll live just minutes from the office and we'll have them in the city to hang out all the time. Nope. They go and buy a house in Sussex. So Matt continues to commute to work. Maria's just minutes from her work at Sussex High School. And you know what they say, Matt? You know, happy wife, happy life. And gas is super cheap. It went down last night, did it? Yeah, okay. For those who know Matt well, we know that he can get worked up easily over some little things. But these days, though, you know, Matt's been a little bit more relaxed and he's shifted his frustrations towards more grown-up and mature things, such as mortgage, you know, property tax, mowing his lawn, and how Maria continues to cost him money. But you know, most best man speeches typically are just a big roast of the groom and becomes just a moment of humility. So I won't go into the stories of, you know, the Las Vegas hospital, the bathroom floor at PEI, what shit hooks really are, how you got the name Miley, or basically any of our other crazy adventures over the past 10 years. For those who know, great. For those who don't, maybe some things are just best left unsaid. Matt and Maria, I can't think of any two people that are more perfect for one another. I know how much you love spending time together and building new memories. I know you both come from wonderful families, and one day you'll build one of your own. I didn't get the pleasure of knowing either of you in the first 20 years of our lives, but over the past 10, we've definitely made up for lost time. And I can't wait to see and be a part of what the future holds for you two. I love you both, and I'm so happy and thankful to have met you. So, everybody, let's raise a glass and congratulate the happy couple. Cheers to Matt and Maria.
Thank you, Nate. Yes, some things are better left unsaid. All right, now I would like to welcome up the parents of the groom, Jean and Arnold.
Thank you. There we are. So yes, can you hear me? Are we happy? Okay. Thank you, everyone. There we are. Arnold and I extend a warm welcome to family and friends who have gathered today to celebrate with Matthew and Maria. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing this wonderful celebration with us today. It means a great deal to us. It really does. I wish everyone a wonderful evening. I hope you're able to stay for the dance, and I hope I have an opportunity to speak with everyone, and Arnold as well. Right? Yeah. I might as well tell you the deal is I speak, he looks pretty. Okay. So today brings us to another of many milestones for this lovely couple. Congratulations, Matthew and Maria. It's quite something, really, to recall that in September of 2011, I know you've heard this 100 times tonight, but you'll hear it again, Matthew came home from school that fall reporting that a new girl had arrived at Sussex High. She came from Hampton, and she was really cute. And so it began. It would be another year and some of dogged determination with neither stealth nor subtle excuses to pass by her locker. But alas, he would finally win her over. As my mother would have proclaimed, they began stepping out together. That was the winter of 2013. Wow. One of my earliest memories of Matthew and Maria was of Matthew visiting the McKeel household for the first time on an occasion of a family celebration. Maria had warned him that everyone would be there. Nervous, yet primed for the event, Matthew spent the day. I asked him afterward how things went. Looking a little peaked and shell-shocked, he replied, "Good, I think. Mom, there's a lot of them. It's really noisy. They all talk at once." The truth. If there's one thing I've come to learn, the McKeels can light up a room. Shortly thereafter, they began dating. Matthew had, on occasion, to visit with the McKeels once again, I think this time for a birthday, of which there would be many. Matt came home rather pleased with himself and felt he had met a requirement of the McKeel clan. They are rather competitive, you might say. As luck would have it, his Uncle Jack had given him a Rubik's Cube. And at some point, Matthew had taken to mastering this thing. I thought it a useless task and a complete waste of his time. But what would I know of the ways of the world? Who would have guessed that on this visit, he would beat all the other competitors in the McKeel household? Flush with pride, he reported himself champion. He really was a nerd. The McKeels are, if nothing else, very gracious losers. As they once again invited him back for many more celebrations. As I mentioned earlier, the McKeel family can light up a room. And Maria in particular is no wilting violet. I have witnessed her hold her own at the buyer gatherings, and this is no mean feat. Not only is she spunky and smart and accomplished, but she and her family are also kind, fun-loving, hardworking, and generous to a fault. Arnold and I are so pleased to have all of you as part of our family and feel confident in the strong foundation both Matthew and Maria enjoy. Matthew and Maria have continued side by side through the past decade, sharing many firsts as high school sweethearts, through to university graduations, first jobs, first home, first dog. They have supported each other at every turn. They have cultivated many fine friendships, and yet they continue to respect shared and separate interests. They complement each other. Maria is detail-oriented, a list maker, a planner. Matthew is not. Maria has beautiful penmanship. Matthew, not so much. Maria is a dancer of some accomplishment. Matthew. But Matthew can sing. Okay. To sum up, I will refresh and share an old Irish proverb because I'm Irish. A person is measured by the partner they choose. I say well done to both of you. We wish you well and consider it a privilege to share this day with you and our family and friends. Thank you.
I can't say anything more.
You did such a good job writing.
They look really pretty. They work.
Thank you, Jean, for those kind words. And Arnold, you nailed it. You looked very handsome up there. All right, if I could get you guys to please help me welcome the parents of the bride. We have Dan and Nancy.
Dan, you can do it. Deja vu.
Test. Can you hear me? Thank you all for coming here to celebrate this very special day for Matt and Maria. For a rainy day, this has been an amazing day. Thank you. First, we would like to thank you, Jean and Arnold, for the amazing parents and role models you have been and are to Matt. He is a true gentleman who easily captured our daughter's heart. Maybe after a bit of time, but it did eventually happen. Maria and Matt, since you first met at Sussex Regional High School more than 10 years ago, it's been a pleasure to watch the two of you grow together into amazing adults, to see the life you have created together, your personalities melding to create a bond unique to you as a couple. And now, the Christmas portrait wouldn't be complete without Mad Max. And for those of you who have not been to their home yet, hold on to your socks. Literally. He loves socks. When you were both still in high school and we had only met Matt a couple of times, you came to watch one of Maria's games, Matt, one of her hockey games. At the end of the game, Maria decided she was going to a bonfire with you. And as any mother would, I said that Maria did not have a warm jacket to wear to a bonfire. Matt, you responded by saying that you would make sure that she had a warm coat to wear. You stopped and looked at me and said, "Don't worry, I'll take care of her." I believed you that night, and I believe today that you will always take care of one another for the rest of your lives. We are truly blessed and forever grateful to have you both in our lives. Matt, although you have been part of our family for quite some time, we would like to take this opportunity to invite you, or to officially welcome you into our family. We love you both so much, and our wish for you is for all your dreams to come true. Thank you.
I'm going to jump in anyway. I wasn't supposed to talk, but I'm going to do it anyway. See, I was the principal at Sussex Regional High School, and Maria followed me, or I brought her up in grade 9. And when Matt first came to one of Maria's shows, and he brought her a bunch of roses, and my mother happened to be there at the time and said, Matt, is Maria going out with Matt? And Maria, she asked you, Maria, and you said, oh no, he's just a friend.
We weren't dating, and he brought me 48 roses.
Anyway, welcome to the family, Matt.
Thank you. All right, now if everyone could please get on your feet and help me welcome husband and wife, Matt and Maria.
Thank you.
So he's talking, and I'm just looking pretty.
So we didn't prepare anything.
No, nothing.
But seriously, we just wanted to simply just thank everybody for coming. Honestly, this means the world to us. Nate and Courtney, thank you for the speeches. Just absolutely beautiful. Pretty much brought me to tears. Not quite, but almost got me there. Mom and Dad, thank you so much. None of this would have been possible without any of you guys. So, yeah, there's that. And then Dan and Nancy, again, thank you so much again. All of this, all the help you guys provided. Thank you for allowing me to marry your daughter. I don't
think you asked.
I didn't ask permission, but it was implied. Exactly. Yeah. But, after 10 years, this is something that Maria and I have probably been living the married life for, several years now. So, maybe things won't be different, but getting to share this special day with all of you and actually go through with all the shenanigans and, I don't know, just getting to say a few words and say I do's, it means something extra special. So, thank you.
I'm a little shorter. What he said. I also didn't prepare anything, and thank you all for coming. It means a lot to us. The MCs weren't lying when it's mandatory to be on the dance floor tonight, so bride says you better be there, you better be there. Yeah, we are so grateful for everyone for coming tonight, and we're also so grateful for our wedding party for being here, and I know that it's a lot to corral 16 people around, so we couldn't be more excited. And Courtney did just get married 2 weeks ago, and she had agreed to be my maid of honor, knowing that our weddings were 2 weeks apart. So, matron of honor, sorry, I forgot in her old age. But even in her old age, she has still kept up with me. So, no, but it has been a lot to do 2 weddings in 2 weeks, but we pulled through, and it's been so much fun, and we're so excited to share this with all of you. So thank you, everyone, for coming.